Alright, today's gonna be kind of related, semi-unrelated, but also kind of related. Hey guys, welcome to Frame Chasers. Today I am going to be, I don't know how to describe it, reviewing? Also, like, it's not so much of a review as it is a troubleshooting video for streaming internet connections. Now, the problem I was having was with Warzone specifically, and I don't know what it is about that game, but let's say if I was streaming Warzone, or okay, let's start with Overwatch. I would stream Overwatch. I have a 2 PC stream. There's no lag on the main gaming machine. My internet connection here with my ISP is 600 megabits down and only 20 megabits up. It's just cable internet. I don't have fiber in my area, otherwise I'd be on it and I wouldn't be having this problem. So with 20 megabit upload, you can kind of see where an issue would arise if you start uploading too high of a bit rate, but up to 10 megabits should be fine for a stream. So I could literally go to 15 megabits a second in Overwatch and it would be totally fine. Now Warzone though, if I would upload anything higher than 6 megabits a second on Warzone, I would start getting mad frame chops and dips in my game. And I know even though this channel is about like hardware mods and getting more FPS, this was something I had to figure out because it was actually affecting my gameplay, like on stream. Like a frame dip or a frame chop is just as important as having a high FPS number. That needs to be a highly consistent FPS number with zero lag. So I was thinking about it for a while, and my ISP, the best thing that they could do for me, like they wouldn't even give me like 5 extra megabits of upload. They wanted me to purchase a business line for double the money to get an extra 100 megabits up. I'm not gonna spend double the money on my internet to get 120 megabits up instead of 20 megabits up with the same download speed. Like, that was literally unacceptable. So I just wasn't gonna do that. I was gonna just suffer with 6 megabits or something like that. So option number 2, upon researching a little bit, in comes this router here. Rapture GT AX11000. You don't have to. This was just the top end model that I found. That's why I got it. I don't need all the features of this thing by any means, and I could probably do with a way cheaper one with the same features. But the important feature that this has, I will explain. And what I was using before was just the router that the ISP gave me. Like I never considered this an issue at all when I first started doing this entire thing. I'm like, router's a router. Who gives a crap, right? So I got the router. I put my ISP's router in bridging mode, so it pretty much disables it completely and feeds the Asus router directly from the, ISP's switching board or whatever you want to call it, the gateway. So once that was done, logged into the router, and this router touts a bunch of features and game VPNs and WtFast and all that crap. I don't care about any of that crap. I actually did test it. Actually, I'll leave that for later in the video. But the feature that I needed was the game prioritization. So what the router actually did, let me bring this up here and I'll show you. All right, this is the router screen here. I don't care if you know my WAN IP, that means nothing. But when you go to game acceleration here, this is what I needed. This is what I was interested in. Game packet prioritization. Game Boost activates gaming mode using adaptive QoS. All gaming traffic past registers can be prioritized to ensure ultimate performance. So when I went on the Asus website and read all that stuff, they have a little fine print description in there under what adaptive QoS does for game boost, and it said something along the lines of, when you're streaming a lot of upload bandwidth, again, this is literally just Warzone. I don't know what it is about that game, but when you're streaming a lot of upload bandwidth and you don't have very much space to give, what the default router does is it kind of doesn't give any other devices in your network any breathing room. So the game lags when it has to ping the game server and get data back and forth. Even though you have 10 more megabits per second of upload buffer that you're allowed to upload, it still is waiting to get in between those packets that are going through your router. So when I read all that, it made perfect sense to me. I'm like, that does kind of sound like what's happening in my situation here. It feels like it's waiting to get information from the server when I'm uploading past 6 megabits a second. Anyway, so does it work? Yes, it does. It took me about half a day of fiddling with all the options to try and find what was the best one, because there were some of them in there that would limit the bandwidth. There was like a bandwidth overhead, and it took me a lot of time to play around with it. But once I got the adaptive QoS to redirect, what it does now is so me and my wife's PCs, the router is actually listening to those devices first. Not first, but it's always listening to those devices. And if it detects a packet request or send, I don't know how it does it, but it lets them through. It's not making them wait for the upload of the streaming PC. Now I can upload at 15 megabits per second on my stream, and I have zero latency. It literally feels better than it did before. I can't even describe it. It feels incredible. Why was I using that stock router for so long? It's funny. It's kind of like having a 240 hertz monitor. You don't know that it makes a difference until you actually try one. And then it's like, holy balls, this feels different. You know what I mean? It's very hard to describe. But this was probably the best investment I made for my gaming / streaming, I don't know what you want to call it, career, or even just quality of life. Wow, holy crap. And if I had to do it all over again, now that I know a bit more, I probably would have went with the cheapest model that I could have found with that adaptive QoS mode. I'm sure Asus has another router down the line that has it. I don't need all this Wi-Fi quadrillion megabit multi-angle 20. I don't need any of that shit. I just need the damn adaptive QoS. You know what I mean? But yeah, this isn't even so much of a review as it's more like, if you're kind of having problems streaming Warzone, that's what you need. For people like me who I'm paying $60 a month right now for my internet, and my ISP wanted $140 to increase my upload speed, and this costed me $400. So in 4 months' time of having the business line, this paid for itself. So my ISP can go fuck themselves. And you can best believe I'll be switching to another ISP as soon as they get fiber in my area, because this is a joke. But in the meantime, this thing solved all my problems. In the third option there was a free subscription to WtFast. I had no idea what the hell this thing was until I looked into it. Apparently it's like what the hell do you call it? It's like a VPN for your games. Where like you connect to their VPN service and then it will prioritize the hops to the game server. I actually did test it out. But I always did have very good latency in my area. That's one thing my ISP does have. I have like 10 milliseconds to every game server in every single, West Coast area. But when I did the WtFast on my machine, I actually gained about 3 milliseconds, which wouldn't make a difference anyway. But there's all like so. It literally did nothing for me, so I turned it off. But maybe if I was connecting to an Australian server or something, it might help. I would actually test that. Why would I ever do that, though? That makes no sense. If I was, like, back in the old days, you would do that for MMOs. But in this day and age, there's no game that comes out with a server in one country anymore. So the service itself seems kind of obsolete. There's also kind of a neat feature where it'll show you which devices are uploading and downloading in real time. And Warzone only needs like 500 kilobytes a second to like maintain the latency. The stock router couldn't get 500 kilobits through there when uploading. I don't know about that. It's almost like they screwed it over on purpose just to try and get my money, right? So you can imagine my enjoyment when I texted back my ISP saying, "No, thank you. I found another solution." It's a good feel. Anyway, guys, this video has, I don't know, not really frame chasey, but frame staby. Frame, for my regular followers, if you do have any questions about this, or if you're in a similar situation and you want me to test something more in depth, because this thing has like, dude, this thing has a million features that I haven't tested and don't care about, and but if you're interested in like maybe Wi-Fi range or speed, if you think about getting one, let me know, message me on Discord or something, and I'll do some testing for you, no problem. Yeah, I mean, but it worked for what I needed it for. Thank you, Asus. You just saved me $1,500 a year on more expensive internet. That's it for this one, guys. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully the day is the day I enter subscription and do all that YouTube SEO stuff for me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later.